I love trips to the beach, I love trips to the river or the gym, quite like the ones you've been posting on social media, since government has eased COVID-19 restrictions on some of the gems of our island home. But even more than all those things, I love the trips that Jamaica Magazine takes you on to enjoy a range of valid information on topical and impactful issues. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome and thanks for choosing us at this time daily to take you on a half-hour expedition packed with a wealth of useful knowledge. With all that, buckle up and let's get going.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Now, the Ministry of Transport and Mining has always been good at exceeding expectations and soaring to higher heights. And that's because success has always been intricately interwoven in its mandate. This financial year is no exception. Here are the plans that you should be looking out for.
To the active windows of the Ministry of Transport and Mining, there's this tune of consistency playing. A tune from which you can hear the onomatopoeic sounds of the choo-choo from the trains, the vrooms of cars and buses, the clapping sound from the wings, or the revving of tractors, all collectively coming together. A tune that embodies the myriad of work engaged and done last year, with a promise of even greater effort this year. Chart the course to Jamaica's prosperity.
Transportation largely consists of the movement of people, cargo, and services on land, sea, or in the air. It is the responsibility of this ministry to regulate and manage these vital activities. This ministry is about moving people, not vehicles.
There is a path being created to afford diverse air travel arrangements for our locals. These include the upgrade of the Lionel Densham Aerodrome for approximately $103 million, as well as plans to acquire the Holland Bamboo Airstrip for rehabilitation despite the pandemic.
We are steering forward with the new airport development.
The Airport Authority of Jamaica, AAJ, is collaborating with the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, JCAA, to establish a national aviation training institution and offer aviation scholarships for pilot training to residents of communities surrounding airports. And to enhance safety at the Norman Manley International Airport, a low-level wind shear alert system will be implemented to provide information in real time to warn pilots of weather conditions. The AAJ will also be undertaking shoreline protection works along the Port Royal Road to protect the eastern end of the NMIA's runway. The work in aviation continues with plans to implement a space-based automatic dependent surveillance broadcast ADSB system. It uses satellite-based technology to calculate an aircraft's precise location and speed.
This will allow for increased safety, precise aircraft locations, improved search and rescue response, reduction in gross navigational errors, and faster pilot controller communication, ultimately allowing more planes to use our airspace.
As we prepare for a successful landing, our connection from air to point B will be transportation via our roadways. And if you're using the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, you'll realize the repair program that's underway.
Last year, Mr. Speaker, the JUTC carried approximately 55 million passengers, and we are hoping that with a robust repair program underway, we'll be able to augment the number of passengers.
The JUTC is in the process of implementing the second phase of an oil filtration system at the Spanish Town Depot, as well as introducing a biodiesel project and electric buses.
This, coupled with our natural gas project, will diversify our energy sources, and it is intended to cut the cost of energy to the entity.
At the same time, you will see 50 new JUTC buses coming to our roads this year. And considering COVID-19, The JUTC will be partnering with Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL) to convert an old bus into a mobile supermarket to assist elderly and disabled customers.
Stocks and Security Limited will undertake the retrofitting, operate and pay all attendant costs. Items from this supermarket will be sold at minimal cost because it is not a profit-making venture.
Plus, frontline workers will continue to ride for free on the JUTC and Montego Bay Metro buses until the end of August 2020. And if you're traveling via the Montego Bay Metro bus, then note that for this financial year, there will be advertisements on bus stops along the routes.
Mr. Speaker, as new opportunities are explored for this company, negotiations are underway for an advertising agreement.
In support of education, this year, 2 schools, Yallas High in St. Thomas and Maldon High in St. James, will receive 1 bus each to assist with transportation. The ministry is also keen on improving the operations of public passenger vehicles. This financial year, work will begin on developing a GPS-based disc for PPV operators, which will link its database to the insurance industry and the police. And owners of public passenger vehicles now have until the end of September to renew their PPV licenses, considering the impact of COVID-19.
Persons who are encouraged to renew online free of cost, while in-office renewal without an appointment will attract a $10,000 fee. Additionally, police record requirements for renewal of badges and new application of badges is waived for this year.
Also, the Road Traffic Act regulations is at the final stages of completion and will be taken to Cabinet and laid within Parliament in the coming weeks.
The Ministry of Transport and Mining remains committed to being the driving force behind a sustainable and reliable transport system.
The Transport Ministry is also ready to get the engines of the rail industry running once more.
The reintroduction of rail service in Jamaica has been a goal for the government of Jamaica for a long time. Work continues to make this a reality.
Negotiations continue for the establishment of the Student Passenger Rail Service project, and Cabinet has approved the establishment of an enterprise team to manage engagements with potential investors into our rail industry. The Development Bank of Jamaica (DBJ) has been authorized as transaction manager.
The change in modality was to ensure that the government and the JRC would utilize a vehicle for the privatization process that would ensure the best operational, legal and financial outcome for all the stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, mining today remains one of Jamaica's main sources of revenue. However, there is a delicate balance between the continuation of an industry and the sustainability of this country. The ministry therefore remains steadfast in its mission to create this well-needed balance.
This financial year will see more families who were relocated from bauxite mining areas getting land titles for where they now live.
Persons who have been displaced have been without titles for periods up to 50 years. It is a disgrace and it should stop. It must stop and it will stop.
The ministry will also ensure that more of these communities have access to potable water supply through a partnership with the Jamaica Bauxite Institute and the National Water Commission.
This administration is going to change course. We have had discussion with my colleagues and we are going to take on the water challenges in these communities.
And diving in deeper this year, studies on marine industrial minerals will begin. The Mines and Geology Division will work to determine the volume of construction materials at Spits in the Sea in St. Thomas and Clarendon. And the Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited is seeing to the maintenance of sugar storage and conveyor systems as work continues to convert the Reynolds Pier in Ocho Rios into a multi-user port.
So far, we have fenced and gazetted the boundaries, created a sterile area, improved the security and are moving to purchase additional scanners.
And this is where our journey ends. As you've seen with those plans for the 2020-2021 financial year, the Ministry of Transport and Mining is carving out the road to a prosperous Jamaica.
Mr. Speaker, this portfolio is charting the course towards prosperity. Like all things, we face challenges, but we are ready to step up to the task. We continue to work because we have an obligation to the people of Jamaica to do what is best for this nation.
the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
We took a step off the plane earlier just to explore additional plans from the Transport and Mining Ministry. But now we're taking you back to the skies as we explore the offerings of the Norman Manley International Airport. And get this, our airports are now back in operation as government moves to ease more COVID-19 restrictions.
Welcome to the Norman Manley International Airport, your gateway to the Caribbean and the Americas. It's Jamaica's principal business and visiting friends and relatives access point, providing a wide range of services and amenities to meet the needs of the most discerning traveler. The Norman Manley International Airport provides a distinctly Jamaican experience and is a first-class facility characterized by efficiency. Through the departures experience, travelers have access to the fully automated Park and Fly extended parking facility. The Red Cap Porter service, which provides courteous luggage assistance from the curb to the ticketing counter. Spacious, inviting, and modern, the ticketing hall provides services from 13 airlines. And for convenience, the automated self-service Easy Check-in reduces wait time. Savor your last moments in capital Kingston by relaxing with family and friends, or with a memorabilia from the photo station. From the ticketing hall, the Norman Manley International Airport provides 3 access points to the Upper Departures Lounge and Club Kingston, the award-winning VIP lounge. Choice, convenience, comfort. The Departures Lounge provides an all-inclusive package reflecting destination Jamaica. Through the variety of savory and spicy meals, specialty duty-free shops, and the airport art displays, a positive passenger experience is created. Club Kingston provides a secluded relaxation space for both leisure and business. The lounge affords a cultural experience reflecting Jamaican hospitality and luxury. Similar services can be accessed through the Club Kingston VIP Arrivals Lounge. Local and international travelers have the opportunity to acquire, select high-quality goods at exceptional prices through expanded duty-free shopping to either grab that memorabilia that defines a milestone or a gift for that special someone. Nine jet bridges welcome the world to Kingston Central. Arriving passengers first embrace the warm tropical climate as they walk through the 2-level passenger pier, which separates arriving and departing passengers in keeping with international security protocols. The passenger pier provides access to immigration and customs services available 24 hours daily. For convenience, a customer service post is on site and automated check-in options. To guarantee minimal delays in the customs procedure, 3 processing options are provided. Nothing to declare. items to declare, and passengers for special consideration, including children, the disabled, and elderly. These areas are color-coded for ease of identification. Travelers can access support services through the hospitality desks located in the transportation hall. Ground transportation, car rental, tour operators, and hotel accommodations can be arranged through this multi-purpose facility. The arrivals forecourt provides an aesthetically pleasing environment with covered seating, a food court and bar. It is here that passengers are greeted with a true island experience, a very cool jelly coconut from the Jelly Man. Located on a picturesque peninsula and bordered by the 7th largest natural harbor in the world, the Norman Manley International Airport continues to provide modern air travel conveniences with 14 aircraft gates, which can accommodate the Boeing 747-400, 2 remote stands, and multi-level departures concourse. Based on its strategic location, Norman Manley International Airport is capitalizing on air freight services through its state-of-the-art cargo and logistics center. This allows the airport to contribute to Jamaica's increasing role in the global air cargo trade. Safety and security is priority for the Norman Manley International Airport. The advanced security system for passenger and luggage screening is part of the layered approach adopted to ensure passengers are safely transported to and from their destinations. Effective, safe, and reliable general aviation services are also key to enhancing the traveler's experience and expectations. From arrival to departure, a high level of management systems and processes ensure that the general aviation services provided are equivalent to worldwide standards. For over 70 years, with over 130 international flights per week, the Norman Manley International Airport remains committed to providing travelers with an exceptional Jamaican experience through its world-class transportation hub. One capital, 2 coasts, 1 connection. The Norman Manley International Airport is your Kingston gateway to the world.
We've been on this sort of traveling or journey to a number of places in this edition, and that continues because despite COVID-19, our government wants us to enjoy an excellent standard of life. So with the ease in some restrictions, here are a few places you can go right this moment. Number 1, beaches and the river. These remain open daily from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. until June 30. Social distancing is still to be observed, and no more than 10 persons will be allowed to congregate at any one section of these beaches or rivers. Number 2, rafting. Rafting will resume at our 2 major areas, that's Rio Grande in Portland and Martha Brae in Trelawney. Only 2 guests plus the raft captain must be on each raft, and the raft captain should be at least 6 feet away from the guests. Zoos and theme parks. The only activity that will take place in these places is the viewing of animals. Guests will not be allowed to touch the animals. Only 50% of the full visitor capacity will be allowed. And finally, the gym. Gyms will be allowed to open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and should only accommodate half their capacity. Gym users are being urged to take their own towels and mats, and operators, you are expected to put in place a sanitization system for all equipment. Wherever you decide to go, make sure that you're wearing your mask at all times. And operators, be sure to install your sanitization areas and conduct the required temperature checks. This way, you all are helping to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and of course, do business.
Yo, this is We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to OPM. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
We never want you to miss out on any pertinent information, so as always, here's something more that you need to know.
The forecasters are predicting a busy Atlantic hurricane season in 2020. The latest forecast from the National Hurricane, Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, predicts a likely range of 13 to 19 named storms, of which 6 to 10 could become hurricanes. The forecast includes 3 to 6 major hurricanes. And when we say major hurricanes, we mean category 3 or higher. In fact, there have already been 2 named storms even before the season has officially begun. And we have seen Arthur and Bertha. So you can see that there is a strong likelihood for an above normal season in terms of hurricane and storm activity. All committees of the council and parish disaster committees that were already activated and engaged in the COVID-19 response need to remain on high alert for the hurricane season. The OPM, that has national responsibility for disaster response, must ensure that adequate relief resources are in place to respond to any eventuality, and that arrangements are made to procure additional supplies. The government is moving to strengthen the capacities of the municipal corporations with adequate supplies. Shelter operations are of particular importance to the government, given the COVID measures of social distancing and the potential for the spread of the virus and the impact on the most vulnerable in our society. And when we say the most vulnerable, we're talking now about our older citizens and our citizens that have comorbidities, certain illnesses, particularly diabetes, hypertension, obesity. Municipal corporations and other response actors at the local level must accelerate the re-inspection of shelters. And I know Minister Mackenzie has been doing this and is spending quite a bit of time and effort to ensure that our shelters are up to date, including regular sanitization of the shelters and ensuring that they are properly equipped. I saw one video posted on social media of someone who had to use the shelter, commending the government and in particular you, Minister, for putting in place these provisions. But when it comes now to having hurricanes and having to deal with a pandemic at the same time, a pandemic such as COVID-19, then it complicates the issues. And so we have to be prepared, properly prepared for that. And I believe, Minister, that we have to do far more training and education of our shelter managers so that they understand how to cope with treating with persons coming in during a hurricane and at the same time maintaining the various orders and requirements under the pandemic. And this would include ensuring that these shelters have isolation areas, that if it became the case that you suspected or confirmed that someone who is homeless who would need to use the shelter is ill or has the COVID-19 and they are not able to be taken from that facility to a health facility, then at least you would have the provision locally within the facility for isolation. Protecting our most vulnerable remains the priority of the government for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, and the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, with portfolio responsibility for disaster risk management, must continue to engage and ensure all necessary measures are taken. Special guidelines for shelter operations and emergency operations are being finalized by OPM and the Ministry of Health and Wellness and will be provided to all relevant entities. I am directing all entities to ensure their continued heightened readiness and preparedness actions following the guidance of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and OPM. The National Emergency Operations Center will continue its coordination role to facilitate a whole-of-government approach, including our private sector and NGO partners. Each parish emergency operations center, ministry and agency emergency operations center is directed to activate 24 hours in advance of a pending storm or hurricane and coordinate activities with the OPM or the National Emergency Operating Center. COVID-19 has tested our emergency systems and response readiness. The government applauds our frontline workers and emergency management personnel for their hard work and dedication under the most challenging circumstances. Like we have done for the pandemic, our strategy must be to anticipate, plan, and prepare for the threat, and not to panic. Let me repeat that, and not to panic.
This marks the end of today's journey, but you should never let your drive to seek information come to an end. That's why we're making this and other past episodes available to you through a single click on our YouTube channel. You can also keep up with the JIS by visiting our website and follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. From all of us here, make sure you're still keeping safe and have a great day. I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.